Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. In today's tutorial, I'll be showing you how to make a reversible 720 degrees peplum jacket with a pinafore top. If you'd like to see how I made this, please watch to the end of this tutorial. Before I start, I would like to thank all returning subscribers. You guys are amazing. And if this is your first time coming across my video, you're welcome. Please subscribe if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, and also click on the notification bell so that you'll be notified every time I upload a new video. And don't forget to like this video. So the major things needed for this project are two different kinds of ankara. I have 2 yards of two different ankara, and I also have my interfacing. So the first thing I'll do will be to cut out the pinafore part, the top part of this. Okay, so I've ironed interfacing soft stay on my fabric for the top part. So to know what I would be cutting, I'm going to subtract. The total length of this jacket is 26 inches, and the half length I will be working with is 17 inches, but I'm going to be adding a 2-inch band to this. So the 17 inches, I'm going to subtract the 2-inch for the band, which will give me 15 inches, and to that I would add extra 1 inch for sewing allowance, making it 16 inches. That means at the top part I'm going to cut out a length of 16 inches. Now the first thing I will do will be to cut out the back piece, okay, for one of the ankaras. So on fold I would measure 16 inches because that's the length I want for the top part, excluding the band. On fold I have half of the shoulder measurement. The shoulder measurement is 17 inches, so on fold I should have 8.5 inches, but I don't want this jacket to get to the tip of the shoulder, so from that shoulder measurement I'll remove 1 inch, but then I'll need ½ inch sewing allowance because I'm going to sew it with the other side of the other ankara. So I'm going to measure 8 inches on the shoulder line. Then on the half length line, so what you would need is half of the bust span measurement, nipple to nipple measurement. The nipple to nipple measurement I'm working with is 9 inches, divided into 2 is 4.5, but I don't want this to be thin at the half length, so I'm going to add, this is optional, I'm going to add 1.5 inches to this 4.5 inches, making it 6 inches. So on the hem, on the half length line I have 6 inches, and on the shoulder line I have 8 inches. On the shoulder line, on that 8 inches, I'm going to come down by 1 inch for the shoulder slope. You know our shoulders are not straight, so I'm taking 1 inch and I'm going to connect that to the neck width. I'm working with a neck width of 3.5 inches, so I'm going to connect the 1 inch I came down by to the 3.5 inches for the neck width. For the neck depth, I'm going to use a neck depth of 1.5 inches for the back neckline. So the neck width is 3.5 inches and the neck depth for the back is 1.5 inches. So I've made a curve for the neckline. Then I'm taking ½ inch joining allowance on the shoulder for joining the front and the back shoulder together, and I'm going to connect this line. I'm then going to connect the measurements on the shoulder to the measurement, the 6 inches on the half length. So I've connected this. I'll just go ahead and cut this out. After cutting this out, I'm going to use the back piece now to trace out or cut out the front piece. So I folded my fabric for the front into 2. I also ironed interface into it. So the only difference is I'm going to add ½ inch at the front, center front, okay, because it's going to be split open, so I'll need that ½ inch for turning the front part. So that's what I've done. I've placed it, leaving ½ inch. I'm just going to trace out everything I have on the back part, as you can see me do. After that, I'm going to take the neck depth of the front part. For the neck depth, I want a neck depth of 3.75, 3.75 inches for the neck depth. So I've measured that out and I'm connecting to the neck width, and then I'll go ahead and cut this out. After cutting this out, I'm going to split the front into two and then use this that I've cut out on this to cut out the other fabric. Okay, so this is just for one side. Remember, this is a reversible jacket, so I will use this now to cut out on the same thing on the other piece. I've done that. I've cut out, so I have my two pieces. Okay, for the Ankara I have this, and I also have the other color of Ankara. I've cut out everything, so all I have to do is just to join them by the shoulder with 1/2 inch allowance I left for that. I've also gone ahead to cut out my band on the two pieces of Ankara. The band width is 70 inches and the height is 3 inches. I'm using 1 inch as sewing allowance, so I'll be left with 2 inches. So I've joined them by the shoulder and I've ironed the seams open. I've placed them right sides facing each other and I've matched them accordingly so that everything is properly matched. Okay, the two Ankaras, the two different types of colors of Ankaras. So I'm going to sew this way 1/2 inch to the neckline and down this way 1/2 inch. That's the allowance I left for that. Then I'm going to sew the sides with 1/2 inch this way and also this way. I won't be sewing the half length on all sides. I'll leave that open. So I've sewn. Okay, I've made my stitches all around the places. I'm going to notch the neckline properly so that when I turn to the right side and iron, it would relax very well. So I'm going to notch all round. After notching, I'm going to turn it from the half length that I left. I didn't sew that part, so I'm going to turn it to the right side and then iron properly. To cut out the peplum part, so I'll be determining the length of the peplum. So the length of the whole jacket is 26 inches, so I'll minus the half length from it. I'm left with 9 inches, to which I added 1 inch allowance, making it 10 inches. Then I'm making a 720 degrees peplum, which is 360 degrees times 2 to give you 720. Because of this, I'm going to divide my waist circumference, which is 40, by 2 so that I can make 2 360 degrees peplum. Okay, so using the formula for 360 degrees peplum, I'm going to divide 20 by 2 pi. That's the formula for getting a 360 degrees circle. So I'm dividing 20 by 6.28, which gave me 3.18, and I approximated that to 3.25. So I'm approximating that to 3.25. So to know the fabric now that I would need for this, I'm going to be adding this 3.25 to the length I need for my peplum, which is 10, and that will give me 13.25. So if I approximate that to about 14, so it means that I will need 14 into 2 places for the length and 14 into 2 places for the width. So on my fabric I have 28 inches by 28 inches. So what I mean is this: I will measure 14 inches and fold it into 2. So you can see what I'm doing. I'll measure 14 inches, fold it into 2. Okay, because that is more than what I need. I need 13.25. Then I'm going to measure the width again, 14 inches, and fold again into 4. So I folded my fabric into 4 this way. So I'll be taking all my measurements from this closed edge, and note that I've already ironed my interfacing, my hairstay, to my fabric. So from this closed edge, I'm measuring 3.25 all round for the waist circumference. After that, from the edge again, I'm going to measure 13.25 for the length of the peplum. After measuring, I'm going to join the dots I've made together, and then I'm going to go ahead and cut out this. I'm going to cut out the peplum. So after cutting out this, I'm also going to cut out the waist part, and then I'm going to use this now to cut out a second peplum for this particular Ankara. I'm going to make 2. I'm cutting 2 to make up the 720. So after that, I'll also use this to cut out 2 for the other type of Ankara that I have, because it's a reversible jacket. So I'll be cutting all 4 circles, 2 for each type of Ankara. So I've folded the same way. I'm just going to place and cut out. After tracing on this one, I'm going to also use this to cut out on this other Ankara. I ran out of hairstay, so I used soft stay on this particular fabric. So here I've cut out all 4 Ankara, 2 for each side. So I'm just going to split them on one side. Remember that the front has to be open, and I have to join the 2 circles for 1 to make up 1720 degrees peplum. So I'm going to join them 2 by ½ inch allowance. So I've done that. I've joined this and I've ironed the seam open, so you can see what I have. I'm folding them so that the open edges are together this way. Then I'm going to do the same thing for the other flay, the other peplum, and I'm going to place it on this one so that the 4 edges are together and matching. This is because I want to make a curve at the edge this way, so I have to match the 4 edges so that they match, because at the end of the day I want everything to match. Okay, so after folding them this way, the edges, I'm going to come upward from this angle by 3 inches, and then I'm making a curve. I want to have a curved edge. This open edge, I want it to be curved, so that's what I'm doing like this. So I've curved it and I'm going to cut this out. Okay, so I came inward by 3 inches from that tip, okay, and I made my curve. I'm going to cut this out. So after this, I'm going to open them right side to right side, the 2 peplums, right side to right side. I'm going to place them very well, and then I'm going to sew from this edge, this open edge this way down. I'm turning them with against each other with ½ inch allowance. So I've sewn with ½ inch allowance all around. You can see what I have. So this is a curve. I'm going to notch all around so that when I turn to the right side, it would be relaxed. So I've turned to the right side. I've already ironed it, so you can see what I have. Everything is relaxed and looking nice. The next thing will be to attach the band to this peplum. So I folded my peplum into 2 equal parts. Okay, so you can see the center is where I actually joined the 2 360 degrees together. So for this band as well, the 2 bands, I'm going to find their midpoints. Okay, so the width of my band is 70, so I'm going to fold 35, so that's the midpoint. I'm going to fold that into 2 to have 35 inches. So I'm going to just notch that midpoint for each of the bands, okay, because I want them to be evenly spread. Okay, because this band is also going to act as a belt. So I've notched that. I'm going to attach this band to the peplum. I'm going to make sure that the matching Ankaras, the matching peplum to the matching band, you understand what I mean. So I'm going to pin midpoints to the midpoint of the peplum to the midpoint of the other band. Okay, so just watch what I'm doing. So when I pin the midpoint, I'll go ahead and pin the rest of the peplum in between the 2 bands, and I'll pin to the end of the band. I've done that. I've pinned everything together. I even pinned to the end where I don't even have the peplum. So I'm going to sew from this edge this way, close it up ½ inch all round till I get to the other end. Okay, the way I pinned, I'll do that and show you. Here I've sewn them together. Okay, you can see what I have, and I've already ironed them. Okay, and I've also ironed in the other ½ inch allowance I left at the top of the band in. Okay, this is because I'll be top stitching on this side. I've ironed everything in. So I'll fold them into 2 equal parts again. This time around, I'm going to be chalking the midpoint of the band, the top part of the band. This is because I've already ironed in my sewing allowance, so I'm chalking this side and the other side. Then I'm going to get the pinafore part of this jacket. I've already ironed it as well. Okay, so this is what I have. I'm going to pick the back part of the pinafore. I'm going to pick it and fold it into 2 also. I'll fold it into two and chalk the midpoint this way and the other way. This is because this midpoint should match the midpoint of the chalked band, the part I chalked on the band, sorry. So I'm going to tuck in this and make sure I pin the chalk part to the chalk part on the band. I'm tucking in the pinafore. It's going to be top stitch, so I'm tucking it in between the two pieces of the band, okay, and I'll pin together. Make sure that you have at least half of the pinafore inside the band, and I'm going to just pin everything. Once I pin the midpoint, I'll just pin the rest of the pinafore to the band. After that, I'm also going to pin the front parts inside the pinafore. I'm tucking it in as well, but this time around, make sure that the edge of the front is matching where the edge of the peplum stopped on the band. You see, I'm making sure they are matching, they are aligned, and I'll pin as well. So I've pinned everything together like I explained. I've pinned them so you can see what I have. So all I have to do is go to the machine and top stitch at the edge of the band where I've pinned. Top stitch, and top stitch. Then I'll also top stitch the rest of the band that doesn't have any part of the pinafore. I'll do all that, close up all this and show you. So after making it, this is what I have. This is what my jacket looks like, so you can wear it either side. It's a reversible jacket. Thank you guys, we've come to the end of this tutorial. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe if you're yet to subscribe to this channel, and check out other videos I have on this channel. You might see something you're interested in. And thank you guys for watching up to this point. Thank you, and I will see you in the next tutorial. Bye.